All right, so here's number 5 on the test study guide. So when we're looking at each one of these problems, we're going to want to compare on the formula, compare these problems with the formula sheet. So on your formula sheet, you'll have the 45, 45, 90. 45, 45. Oops, sorry, my handwriting's bad. So 45, 45, 90 triangle. And the reason I'm looking at that one is because we have a 45-degree angle here. And so that's a clear indication that, okay, if I did my add 90 and 45, subtracted from 180, I'll find out this is 45 as well. So we're looking at a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So what my formula says is that this is going to be x squared of 2, this is going to be x, and this is also x. But we can see that these triangles are not rotated the same direction. Oh, I feel a sneeze coming on. Okay, no, we're good. All right, so so they're not facing the same direction. So this, I'm gonna kind of have to turn this in my brain, or just look across from the right angle is where I have the x squared of 2. So I know that b and a are both x, and that 10 is equal to x squared of 2. Okay, and so you're like, why are we doing this? Okay, we have to do that because we're trying to find what x is equal to, okay, because both these sides are x. So to get x by itself, I'm going to divide by the square root of 2. Okay, and so now we have x by itself, but this will not be an answer on your test or on any assessment that you're given. You cannot leave a radical in the denominator. We talked about this. But how we get rid of the radical is we have to multiply by the special form of 1. Okay, because if I multiply by the square root of 2 times the square root of 2, this is the same thing as square root of 4, or just 2. So it gets rid of the radical being in the denominator. So that's what we're going to do. But when we multiply these two together, we just write them next to each other. And so square root of 4, like I said, is equal to 2. And then sometimes if this is like an odd number, I would just leave it like this. But since this is even, I can divide it by 2. Okay, I would rewrite it as 10 divided by 2 or 5 square root of 2. Okay, so we can now have x, okay, is equal to 5 square root of 2. So I know both of these sides are equal to 5 square root of 2. All right, now on your test, and I'm giving you a big hint here, there won't be questions like this, even though this is an important piece of information. I'm not saying it's not going to be on your final or anything. So it is good that you are learning this and did ask about this, but for the test that you're taking, you're going to see problems like this one, where you have 3 square root of 2, and so it's pretty easy to tell, okay, this is 3, this is 3, and this is equal to x square root of 2. Okay, and we know x would equal 3. Or it'll be problems like this one up here, number 4, where we know the formula would be that this is equal to x squared of 3, this side's equal to x, and this side's equal to 2x. Okay, so I know x would equal 4, and this would equal 8. So it'll be easier, and I got this again from the formula sheet. So, and this kind of good practice that I tell people to do, just to write the formula around it. That way you know what you're equating to what. Just one thing to be careful about. There's some that have variable x, so don't get confused with the x's that you write around and the actual x in the problem. They could be totally different. So not to confuse you or anything, but just basically I would focus on these two types of problems and one similar to those when you're studying for this test. But hopefully this helped, and hopefully it wasn't too shaky because I'm holding my camera. But again, feel free to email me if you have any other questions, and hopefully you get 100 on this test. See ya.